let's start with our highlights today.
I already told one, but I figured out, and the rest of the group knows, I figured out that 7- and 8-year-olds don't know that Jack Black they don't know that Jack Black, well, how do I want to say this, Raph? I can't talk it.
They thought it was Jack Black in a panda suit in Kung Fu Panda.
Right. In an animated panda suit.
Yeah.
And I guess I told a lot of people, because it's a learning lesson. It's like, yeah, when did I learn that a cartoon was a cartoon?
Yeah.
And also, the harder part is, I'm sorry, Em,
No.
going backwards. And how do you teach someone that a cartoon is a cartoon? So I think we might make flip books tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was just curious
Maybe
if
we
did that
can.
come up, Maria? Did
Part of it is that it's a different media landscape than when you and I were growing up. And
Right,
when we were
right.
kids, cartoon and real seemed like very distinct categories.
Right,
and
right.
there was like one liminal space in between, which was Roger Rabbit, right? But that was it.
Right.
And now we have, 3D
CGI,
animation,
right.
And then, like, I was talking to the kids about Spider-Man, which is a 3D animated character,
Yeah.
seamlessly integrated into
Right.
a live-action film.
Right.
And so, is Spider-Man real, and how was he
Right.
real?
Like, I didn't understand. This is like giving too much information, but I watched Pretty Woman when I was like 7, which is like not a good idea. But I could not comprehend that Julia Roberts wasn't with Richard Gere in real life. Like, just did not make
Right.
sense. So I think like even the kids, it's not just cartoon. I think it's also like, so and so is in real life,
Yeah.
dating, hanging out with,
Right.
like so and so.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
and I think that I don't know. You need to. It
So
needs to be
one
talked about.
thing to think about is when we look at our teaching targets, sometimes you think you've taught something and you have another experience that shows you, whoa, I wasn't even close to
I didn't
that.
even
Yeah,
foreground
I
it.
didn't
And
even
so
try.
that's something for reflection.
So we were talking about like advertising and the difference between like PSAs and a regular commercial. We used the Media House, which was a really good idea. And they got it, when it was all 3 inform, entertain, persuade. So I kind of stumbled upon Skechers commercials about watching like cartoons with my brothers, and they're like very, very targeted ads, like girls, boys, all the same exact product, but one is marketed clearly towards boys and one clearly towards girls. But they really, really got it. Like, they really understood that they were overtly trying to persuade them, and a lot of them gave examples of how they've been tricked by like commercials in the past, and they're like wary. And a lot of them also could tell me exactly why one was targeted towards, say, boys as opposed to girls. Or
It was a big day for me because it personally is very hard because of my own personal beliefs. Like, it is hard to have to teach a kid. I know we all want to have the argument, but an adult can play with Barbie or so and so, but it's not what target audience means.
Right.
So it was a really cool day to have, and having the kids accept it, and having the kids also be like, all right, like, I see where you're coming from.
We talked about music and emotion, and at first I would play the clip and I'd say, how did this make you feel? And at first they would say things like happy or sad. And then the more we talked about it, I would say, no, how does it really make you feel? And one girl cracked it, and she said stressed. And then it changed, and then it was like relieved. And like scared, or just, I feel caution. And I was like, what is that even, like, where did that come from, And just they started throwing out these words that had so many meanings, and we started talking about that. And it was just like, it went from like, and then we went back into adjectives. I don't know like where the moment was exactly, but they got it like through that click, and it was just.
But today, 2 students really engaged in a conversation after I showed them a few videos. I showed them Queen Latifah's UNITY, Public Enemies, Fight the Power, and KRS-One, You Must Learn. And there was a big discussion over whether people should listen to music for entertainment purposes or for informative purposes, and whether hip-hop music was actually better for being vehicles of social change, or whether just the entertainment factor was what was important. And they really got into a discussion. It was the first time that they really discussed between one another without jeering and teasing and stuff like that, but really actually engaged one another, and I was actually able to let them go with it.
I've had a really great chemistry with my class for the past 2.5 weeks, and things have been going very well, and I think we've just really created a very safe space and a very good environment where I've been cool with them, but enforced things as well. And all of a sudden, since yesterday, my kids are like straight up talking back to me, and 2 of my like good students. One of them pushes me a little bit, but then he'll crack a smile and knows that he's not meant to be acting like that. And the other one has really been great and very insightful and kind of comes out of left field sometimes. And we were waiting to go downstairs today, and we were lining up, and usually I leave them with a statement prepping for the next day, and I was like, guys, you just, we need to work on attention tomorrow because you're still not hitting it. And Dion's also been asking about, he's always asking what time it is, like we need to go somewhere a half hour before we need to go anywhere. And in the middle of me talking to them, he said, can we go now? And after him and his cousin had been kind of messing around. So they interrupted me speaking, and then he spoke back to me. And I guess my low is that I'm not really quite sure where to go with this because I have 8 days left, or 7 days left. And, I've kind of set a tone. I need to figure out how to, enforce more forcefully now or do something about it because this behavior is new. And it's